Good day to all of you. So last time we discussed about global warming and the reason why Earth's temperature is increasing yearly. And today we are going to learn the impacts of global warming to our planet. The title of our lesson for today is Extreme Weather under module number 7. So this is the most essential learning competency for today's lesson. Describes certain climatic phenomena that occur in global level. The expectations are the following. Number 1, differentiate El Nino and La Nina phenomena. And number 2, explain the effects of El Nino and La Nina phenomena on global climate. This lesson is anchored in a division-made module from SDO Caloocan. Last time we tackled about climate, weather, and global warming, and we know for a fact that global warming is a major global environmental concern that the world is facing now. Climate patterns is really changing due to climate change. And here are the obvious effects of global warming. We are now confronted by several impacts of climate change, such as the heat, drought, flood, rising of sea level, abnormal behavior of animals, forest fires, and many more. And aside from that, we have to watch our other effects of global warming or other impacts that can bring greater damage to humankind. So, changing of climate patterns is also one of the impacts of climate change in our planet. You may hear some news that there were some species of birds that lay eggs than expected. You will notice also some abnormal behavior of animals. Other animals that should be hibernating are now seem to be very active, and there will be an early migration of birds. So, meaning to say, climate change is real. Actually, it is being felt and experienced by different places around the globe. That is why it is major global environmental issue we are facing now, and it needs some solution. So in the Philippines, we can feel it due to the extreme weather patterns happening in our country like Typhoon Ondoy, Habagat, and Yolanda, which bring disaster like flood, damage to property, and even death of people. Aside from those distractions and calamities that we are experiencing due to extreme weather patterns, we still have two cyclical events that can bound to happen. Those are the El Nino and La Nina. So what are those? What is the difference between the two? So abnormal and lengthy warming that occurs in the eastern part of the Pacific Ocean is what we call El Nino. It can last to 2 to 7 years or 9 months to 2 years. But what happens during El Nino? As you can see here in this picture, water on the Pacific Ocean warms up than usual, which leads to the extreme weather pattern. It begins usually during December. That is why it is called El Nino to pertain to the Christ of the child or blessed child. Based on what we can see in this diagram, trade winds from the east to west wherein warm water over the ocean is being collected. When this warm water piled up, it makes the Pacific Ocean much warmer than usual, which leads to El Nino phenomenon. El Nino occurs when the upwelling of colder water is being blocked by the large amount of warm water over the ocean. And unfortunately, our country, Philippines, is affected by this phenomenon since the Philippines is located in the Pacific Ocean. That is why it is expected that our nation will feel this sudden increase in temperature and can also experience drier air than normal rainfall. It is anticipated that drought will be encountered during El Nino phenomenon, which can cause stronger thunderstorms and powerful storms. These abnormal and extreme weather conditions can give rise to the extinction of animals. How about La Nina? What do we mean by La Nina? How does La Nina differs from El Nino? La Nina is the opposite of El Nino. It may last from 9 to 12 months, but sometimes keep going up to 2 years. This phenomenon is prompted by the cooling in the eastern part of the Pacific Ocean. That's why the other term for that is called Pacific. What takes place during La Nina? From east to west, trade winds are reinforced or become stronger, and since the wind now is strengthened, a welling of colder water builds up. Moving air will lead to too much amount of water vapor. Warm water now is being pushed by the trade winds towards the western Pacific, which includes our country. That scenario can result to an increase in the amount of rainfall in some location in the Philippines, and due to the movement of trade winds, precipitation will escalate. Stronger storm will be experienced in some areas, and heavy rainfall is also one of the effects of La Nina. So those places that confront terrible drought during El Nino phenomenon will now come up against high amount of rainfall. However, there are some locations that undergo dry season will be much drier compared to normal setup. The reverse side of La Nina is El Nino, and these two are cyclical events that we can encounter due to the changing climate patterns. As the greenhouse gases continue to increase, such as carbon dioxide or CO2, Earth's temperature will also increase, and global warming will still increase also all around the world. And because of the warming, drought, and extreme weather conditions will be felt by different areas in our planet. But even though we are facing now a big environmental problem, I do believe that there's still a chance or hope for us to save this planet. And that will only happen if we will take action now, stand together, and do our part in combating climate change. That's conclude our lesson, and I hope you've learned so much today that you can bring and apply in real life situation. On or before Friday this week, be able to submit your science activities. And that's all for today. Thank you for your time to listen. God bless and have a nice day.